It is a fact that a person is more likely to get struck by lightning than win a lottery. But these people have played some of the smartest moves one can think of and have made a fortune out of it. Number 9. Brad Duke. Learning from your own mistakes is good, but you know what's the best? Learning from the bad experiences of other people around you. And that is what Brad Duke did. Back in 2005, after winning the Idaho Powerball lottery, Brad scooped a prize of $85 million. And instead of purchasing a fancy villa or some sports car, he invested it wisely and turned it into $1 billion. But how did he do that? Well, Brad has always been a clever person. He claims that even before he won the jackpot, he wasn't just gambling mindlessly. When he bought his Powerball tickets, he used a mathematical system. Using his phenomenal brain, Brad developed a lottery number structure by going back over 6 years and analyzing the numbers that were the most popular. He formed them into a system pattern and then played these exact numbers week after week consistently for 4 years. He says that before he won the multi-million jackpot, he'd already started to take home $150 and $500 prizes. But how he managed to become a billionaire in just 12 years of winning a lottery is a life lesson that all Powerball enthusiasts must learn. In an interview, he said that after winning the jackpot, he did some research and found out that most lottery winners who win a jackpot usually spend all the money on useless things and end up where they started from, and sometimes at an even worse place. And that is when he decided that he wouldn't let winning this lottery get to his head. Instead, he built a team of trusted financial advisors who helped him turn his fortune into a $1 billion mega fortune in just 12 years. For that, he put the money that he'd won to work and invested $45 million into low-risk investment ventures, $35 million into high-risk assets, and creating a $1.3 million Duke Family Foundation, a charity that helps nonprofit organizations. Number 8. Peter Lavery. How lucky someone should be that one moment they're a normal bus driver and bam, the next they're a millionaire. Guess only Peter Lavery can relate. Peter Lavery, a former bus driver who has lived in the heart of Belfast, claims that he has been lucky all his life. He once escaped a bomb, potential hijackers, and then won a multi-million-dollar lottery that over 33.5 million played. Can you believe it? In one night, he became a perfect example of from rags to riches. Peter had to leave school without any qualification because he had dyslexia, and because of that, he had to work hard every day in his life, which made him a borderline alcoholic. Sharing the same experience, he said in an interview that he couldn't believe he won a lottery and admits that at the beginning, the trajectory did not look good for him. For half a year, he was teetering on becoming a lottery winner cliche. He went to work one last shift after he won the lottery and then handed over his notice. But then, he was left with no particular goal in mind. He didn't know how to manage all this money he had received overnight and thus started drinking 5 days a week. And things went downhill after that. He became depressed and wanted to take his life, but his doctor friend saved his life, unexpectedly, and told him to get busy. Since that day, Peter changed his way of living, and now he is the first multi-millionaire of Belfast. In the first year, he spent $500,000 on cars and went on exotic vacations with his family and friends, but soon he got bored of that. Then he decided to reinvest his winnings in the whiskey distillery and other properties. Soon he expanded his whiskey investment into a partnership with Cooley Whiskey Distillery and made the Danny Boy brand. Peter has worked hard to triple his fortune and has been successful in doing that. He now has more than 30 properties spread across Northern Ireland. But even after achieving his dreams, he didn't pick up the habit of drinking mindlessly ever again, and now has put his newfound wealth and status to good use by setting up and raising money for a string of local charities. These include the Northern Ireland Children's Hospice and the Northern Ireland Chest, Heart, and Stroke Association, and has also set up the Rita and Charles Trust in memory of his beloved parents. Number 7. John and Lisa Robinson. The life of the Robinson family suddenly changed one night when they hit a jackpot worth over $327.8 million in 2016. And it is needless to say that they have invested it in a way that even after upgrading their lifestyle, they still have a lot of money left. After winning the jackpot, John and Lisa decided to invest in real estate and now live in a lakeside home in summer. Their new luxurious home has 10 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms, a movie theater, wooden jetties complete with stunning dining furniture, and 320 acres of land in the gorgeous Tennessee countryside. They even have their own private lake. And if you think that this must have taken half of their prize money, well, it cost them just over 1% of what they have in their bank accounts. Today, despite living in such a luxurious home, they've decided to keep a low-profile life and are still super rich. It just sets an example that even when you think a lottery won't change you, it will. But it's not always in a bad way. Good things are possible with a lotto win as long as you remain sensible with your winnings. Number 6. Cynthia Stafford. A single mom of 5 children used a hack to scoop a lottery of $112 million. And it will blow your mind. Cynthia was reading a book called Power of Your Subconscious Mind and believed strongly that she would win the lottery if she manifested it. For that, she visualized the exact amount of money she wanted to win, $112 million. However, 112 was a number that was not wholly picked by Cynthia at random and has an interesting story behind it. She picked 11 because she was born in November, and then chose 2 because she felt like it. In an interview, she told a news outlet, "I was trying to consolidate the number to match my birthday. That's basically what I was doing." After winning the lottery, she bought her dream house, which she claimed she visualized owning, spent a hefty amount on luxury handbags, and bought 2 Bentleys, a convertible, and a family car. And despite these extravagant purchases, Cynthia believed she would stay wealthy due to her manifestation technique. She told ABC, "I didn't want to be one of those stories where you gained money and then lose it all." However, her visualization techniques didn't work this time, and Cynthia was forced to file for bankruptcy on January 6, 2016, after poor investments. But later on, the lotto winner published a book called Seeing: How to Visualize Your Way to Success, and started selling courses that help people manifest things. And now, this is her new source of income. Number 5. Jason Fry. In 2007, Jason Fry was working 3 jobs to meet the daily needs of his family. He was bartending, pouring concrete, and digging wells, and still faced bankruptcy. While he was struggling financially, his second child was on the way. His marriage was on the skids, and Christmas was just 3 days away. From nowhere, his friend suggested that he should buy a lottery ticket, despite knowing that Jason doesn't like gambling and does not have money to do so. After a lot of persuasion, Jason went for it and won $47 million. After winning, Fry split the prize money with his friend and also gave his now ex-wife a sizable amount. For the next 6 months, Fry did what you'd expect a millionaire in his 30s to do. He bought a boat, an Escalade, a Shelby Mustang, a motorcycle, a house in Fort Myers. He played golf every chance he got and invested in a driving range with a golf pro. Once he got bored of this lifestyle, he decided to take on entrepreneurship as a new career path, opening a Batteries Plus store in Fort Myers. Today, Fry owns 4 stores in Bonita Springs, Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and Naples. He also opened a Mona Lisa restaurant in Fort Myers and plans to open 2 more in Cape Coral and another one near the airport. But his journey of becoming an instant millionaire hasn't been easy. He has been betrayed by some of his friends who borrowed money and never returned, and some who promised to make investments that were never made. But these incidents have become a life lesson for him, and he is learning from these bad experiences. Number 4. Sue Herdman. For most people, winning a multi-million-dollar lottery means living a luxurious life and spending money on their hobbies or investing it in their new venture. But for Sue Herdman, who won $1.2 million, wearing branded clothes and sipping champagne isn't something she would prefer. Before her numbers came up in January 2010, and she officially became a millionaire overnight, Sue was a hairdresser in the village of Erdesley, near Hereford. And although she struggled financially, she was perfectly groomed. Her clothes and makeup were always carefully picked out. But ever since she has won the lottery, she prefers to be a pig farmer. And although she is up at the crack of dawn and often knee-deep in mud, she has never been happier. Sue has invested her winnings in property. She says, "I always imagined if I won the lottery, I'd buy a new car and clothes. But the reality is that I still love hunting for bargains, and I've discovered I love pigs." Her reaction to winning a lottery was no different than all the lottery winners in the world. Before she won the lottery, she was a single mother desperately trying to save up enough money to get a mortgage when her numbers came up. She said in an interview, "It was tea time, and I was just about to have dinner when I glanced at the TV and saw the winning numbers. They looked familiar. I always use the same ones, and I got my ticket out to check." To say I couldn't believe my eyes is an understatement, but I suddenly couldn't eat a thing. After verifying she had indeed won £1,182,714, she celebrated with a drink in the pub and some karaoke. But unlike other lottery winners, she kept on going to work for the first 6 months as a hairdresser. But now she has found a way to both invest her money and enjoy a life that's anything but glamorous. Number 3. Richard Lustig. If you have ever dreamed of winning a lottery, Richard Lustig has something for you that can make your dreams a reality. With an astounding 7 lottery wins under his belt, Lustig was an expert when it came to hitting jackpots. Richard Lustig was an ordinary individual, but his life took an electrifying turn when he won, bestowing upon him $1,047,060.50 in combined winnings. Though luck had played a major role in Richard's life, he also had a strategy that helped him win lotteries worth millions of dollars and a few luxurious trips. But how did he do that? The first win for Lustig came in 1993, and it wasn't even on lotto games. He won $10,000 on a scratch card bought in Florida. It's even more interesting to note that his next win took 4 years, but the prize was on a state lottery. It was Florida Fantasy 5, where he won $13.5 thousand. The next winnings included holiday trips, and the biggest victory came in 2002, when Richard won $842,000 on Florida Mega Money. The subsequent 2 winnings in 2008 and 2010 were $73K and $98K respectively, which puts Richard at over $1 million in total winnings. And that marked the start of his popularity, which grew exponentially as people started taking interest in the lottery world. And while he has won a very small amount compared to other people in Florida who have hit multi-million-dollar jackpots, Richard still ranks as one of the most popular lottery winners because he's the only one who won significant prizes on the lottery on 7 occasions. Seeing his popularity grow, he wrote a book, Learn How to Increase Your Chances of Winning the Lottery, in which he explained how he used his analyzing techniques and won lotteries multiple times. Everyone was intrigued by the fact that he won 7 times by playing the lotto and wanted to know how, which made his book immensely popular even outside Florida. In 2013, the book was at the 3rd spot of the best-selling books in the self-help category. And even though there's no accurate information, it won't be wrong to assume that Richard Lustig earned more with his book than when playing the lottery. Though his techniques and advice are not accepted by many experts, he sure found a way of making money by winning lotteries and by teaching how to win lotteries. Number 2. Stefan Mandel. Imagine being so good at mathematics that you can hack the lottery system and win the lottery 14 times. And while it's hard to believe, It is what a Romanian-Australian economist did. Though his ways of winnings are now considered illegal, he made a fortune out of it and now leads a peaceful life. Mandel used to earn just $88 a month when he won the lottery for the first time in Romania. Later on, he tried his luck a second time and won another lottery when he was trying to earn enough money to get his family out of the then communist country. Then, after a few years, he moved to Israel before settling down in Australia, where he won the lottery an additional 12 times. But how did he do that? What loophole was there in the lottery system that Mandel took advantage of? Well, here's a detailed explanation of how Mandel hacked the system and took advantage of it. Mandel, using his phenomenal brain, came up with a 6-step formula that helped him manage to make serious cash from the lottery. First things first, he used to calculate the total number of possible combinations. For example, if a lottery requires you to pick 6 numbers from 1 to 40, that means 3,838,380 combinations are possible. Then, he used to spend time finding lotteries where the jackpot is 3 times or more the number of possible combinations. And once he had enough data, he used to raise cash to pay for each combination. It is said that Mandel rounded up 2,524 investors for his push to win the Virginia lottery. Then he would print out millions of tickets with every combination. This used to be legal back then, but now the rules have changed and you would have to buy the tickets right from the store, which has left no space for hacking the lottery system. After making a fortune from this, now Mandel lives a quiet life in Vanuatu, a South Pacific island country known for its volcanoes and waterfalls. Number 1. Marge and Jerry Selby. Buying a lottery ticket and waiting for the day until the results get announced is a process that can be very stressful for those who want to win badly. But imagine if you know beforehand which number will win. How easier the whole process will become. That's what this elderly couple did. They figured out a math error in games run by 2 states, and it became a wildly profitable investment strategy. Marge and Jerry owned a party store in Everett, Michigan that sold cigarettes, liquor, and lottery tickets. After selling 1,000 tickets, Jerry figured out how to hack the odds in a certain type of lottery called Windfall in Michigan, and later Cash Windfall in Massachusetts. Jerry realized that you could almost guarantee a profit to the tune of 5 or 6 figures if you played thousands and thousands in particular weeks. So that's why the Selbys started purchasing some particular tickets, to the point that playing the lottery became a full-time job at times. And over the course of 9 years, it worked, to the point that their estimated total lottery haul was almost $27 million. Though there is a lot of math behind it, the Selbys figured out what the hardest part is. It was simply the process of actually buying and examining thousands of lottery tickets. This required physically going to stores in person, standing in front of the machine for hours, buying the tickets, and printing them out. In 2003, Jerry Selby started on his own and spent a few $1,000s a week while keeping the whole thing a secret from his more risk-averse wife. After 2 weeks of betting, during which he made $6,300 from tickets worth $3,400, and then grossed $15,700 from tickets worth $8,000, he came clean to his wife, and she also became a part of it. Then, after making a profit of the first few $100,000, the Selbys started a company to fund and organize the whole thing. However, due to some reasons, Michigan closed down the game they were playing, and the Selbys started focusing on Massachusetts, where the stakes were higher. This also required a 12-hour drive each way to play, standing in convenience stores for days at a time. The Selbys took on investors, but then faced another challenge. A group of students from MIT also figured out the error in the lottery system and formed an organization, attracted investors, and started making millions. However, this little game didn't work for many days. It was exposed by a newspaper, the Boston Globe. And while there was nothing illegal in this, the Selbys still had to shut down their company. But the way they found an error in the system and used it to their advantage, and built a whole company for that, is surely one of the smartest ways of using the lottery system.